6 trained K9 dogs suddenly surrounded a little girl in the park, forming a perfect circle around her. Onlookers froze in fear. But then, the girl raised her tiny hand. And what happened next left everyone speechless. Hyannis was a quiet town, where the days moved slow and the seasons passed gently. In a small house on the edge of town lived 5-year-old Emma, a once joyful girl now trapped in silence. Her world had ended the day her parents, James and Carolyn, both professional dog trainers, died in a car accident. Since that day, Emma had not spoken a single word. Her voice vanished along with her parents. She lived with her grandparents, Margaret and Walter, who did everything they could to reach her. But nothing worked. Emma barely ate, rarely left her room, and her eyes looked through people as if they weren't there. But there were 6 souls she didn't shut out. The 6 German shepherds her parents had trained. Max, the eldest, followed Emma like a shadow. Luna, always gentle, never left her side. Rex, Shadow, Belle, and Duke stayed close, their discipline and devotion untouched by grief. They became her silent protectors, lying outside her door, walking beside her like ghosts, reminding her of the love she had lost. As weeks turned into months, the weight of keeping 6 large dogs became too much for the elderly couple. Vet bills piled up. Food became harder to afford. One night, Margaret whispered through tears, "We may have to give them away." Walter only nodded, too broken to reply. The next morning, they told Emma. She sat by the window with Max's head on her knee. When Walter gently spoke the words, Emma said nothing. She just stood up and walked away. She didn't come out for days, but the dogs did. Each morning, they gathered outside her door, placing their leashes gently against it, waiting. No barking, no whining, just quiet, loyal persistence. Then, one morning, the door creaked open. Emma stepped out, her hand trembling. She clipped each leash one by one. 6 tails wagged, and for the first time in weeks, Emma left the house. They walked together to the park. A small girl in pink sneakers, holding 6 leashes, each dog perfectly aligned beside her. People stopped and stared, but Emma didn't notice. The sun was warm, the air crisp, and for a few quiet minutes, her grief seemed to lift. Suddenly, Max froze. His body stiffened, ears perked. The other dogs did the same. Emma followed their gaze. A toddler had fallen into the lake. There were no parents nearby, no lifeguard, just water and silence. Without hesitation, Max bolted. The leash slipped from Emma's hand. Luna and Rex followed. The others stayed behind, barking loudly, drawing attention. The 3 dogs hit the water like arrows. Max reached the child first, gently grabbing the back of his shirt. Luna swam beside him, keeping the child steady. Rex nudged them toward the shore. Years of training turned instinct into action. On land, people rushed forward. Phones out. Cries echoed. But the dogs worked in harmony. They pulled the child safely to the edge. The boy coughed and cried, but he was alive. Emma stood frozen, clutching the remaining leashes, her heart pounding. She didn't speak, but she didn't need to. The video went viral by evening. A small girl walking 6 dogs. Then, those same dogs saving a toddler. Reporters arrived. Questions flew. But when they learned about Emma, the silent girl who hadn't spoken since the tragedy, the story changed. Donations poured in. Groceries, vet care, toys. People across the country stepped up, moved by the bond between Emma and her dogs. But the biggest miracle came quietly. One afternoon, Emma sat in the living room. The 6 dogs circled her. She reached out, placed a hand on Max's head, and whispered, "Max." Margaret gasped. Walter dropped his cup. Emma looked up. Luna, Rex, Shadow, Belle, Duke. Her voice was soft, shaky, but real. The dogs leaned in, tails wagging. For the first time in months, she smiled. She had found her way back. And all it took was love that never left her side. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to SoulPaw Stories 5. Because some stories, just like Emma's, remind us what loyalty, healing, and silent love really mean.